Those who disregard the unmistakable progress we've made in the last year and the terrible consequences that would ensue were we to abandon our responsibilities in Iraq have chosen another road. It may appear to be the easier course of action, but it is a much more reckless one, and it does them no credit, even if it gives them an advantage in the next election.
Welcome back to Hardball. John McCain's attack on his Democratic rivals today may be a preview of the political showdown that's expected tomorrow when the top general in Iraq, General Petraeus, and the ambassador to Iraq, Ryan Crocker, testify before the U.S. Senate. All three presidential candidates, all three of them senators, are taking breaks in their campaigns to be part of these hearings and to grill the general, of course. Hardball-David Schuster has the latest on the surge strategy in Iraq.
Today in Baghdad's Sadr city, fighting and violence erupted again. U.S. and Iraqi forces are trying to crack down on Shiite militias who keep firing mortars into the green zone, but today the rockets kept coming. And on Sunday, a mortar attack killed 2 American soldiers in Baghdad, and over the weekend, at least 3 more U.S. troops died. All of this as the top U.S. commander in Iraq, General David Petraeus, and Ambassador Ryan Crocker prepare to give Congress an Iraq update. Senators attending the hearing will include the presumptive Republican presidential nominee, John McCain, and Democrats Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton. The key question is, has the surge worked? It's been a year since the U.S. troop escalation, and today John McCain argued the improvements in Iraq are dramatic, despite the recent violent flare-ups.
The job of bringing security to Iraq is not finished, but there's no doubt about the basic reality in Iraq. We are no longer staring into the abyss of defeat, and we can now look ahead to the genuine prospect of success.
Until last month, the number of civilian casualties and U.S. troop deaths had dropped by 70%. Still, there is a distinction between military success and political success. Last year, President Bush said political reconciliation was crucial and that the goal of the troop escalation was to give Iraqi leaders breathing room to pass legislation.
The Iraqi government needs to show real progress in return for America's continued support and sacrifice.
In fact, there has been some legislative progress. Measures have been passed on de-Baathification and amnesty for bureaucrats who helped run the government under Saddam Hussein, plus other bills have been approved related to the budget and provincial elections. But by most accounts, the legislation has been applied unevenly. There has been no progress on the Iraq Constitution or on oil revenue sharing. And when it comes to disarming militias, Iraqi government forces last week tried to take on Shiite militias in Basra and needed to be rescued by U.S. troops. And today, the experts who advised the congressionally mandated bipartisan Iraq study group released a report concluding, quote, political progress is so slow, halting, and superficial, and social and political fragmentation so pronounced that the U.S. is no closer to being able to leave Iraq than it was a year ago. When they last testified in the fall, Ambassador Crocker acknowledged problems in Iraq politically.
There is an enormous amount of dysfunctionality in Iraq. That is beyond question. The government, in many respects, is dysfunctional, and members of the government know it.
But General Petraeus focused on U.S. troops.
The military objectives of the surge are, in large measure, being met.
The tag team proved frustrating for many lawmakers who were trying to get to the broader question of whether the Iraq war was headed towards a definable success or not. But regardless of the debate over the long-term future of Iraq, tomorrow's hearing will likely focus on a more immediate issue. Did the U.S. troop escalation work? I'm David Schuster for Hardball in Washington.
Thank you, David.